up, y'all? What's up? 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 Welcome to Good Conversations with Corey Manning. I am Corey Manning, and I am going to have a good conversation today. We got a hot one, y'all. We got a great lineup. Y'all coming to it. We're coming to you live straight from the living room. Families out of town. The kids are on spring vacation this week. So I have the house, I have the run of the house to myself. So I decided to come up here and do this thing and try to take care of it outside of the dungeon or the lab, as I call it, in my crib, in the crib. That's where I get down. So we're going to see what's happening. Welcome, y'all. Today is, it's hard to say Tuesday. Today is Monday, April the 15th, and it's tax day. Hope you got your taxes done. If you have not gotten your taxes done, I hope you don't owe anything. Luckily, for myself, I don't owe anything. I never have. Well, I'm not gonna say I never have, but lately I've been able to say that I haven't owed any taxes. Got a couple dollars back. So looking forward to seeing what I'm gonna get out this year. But if you have not filed your taxes left, you need to go online and put in for an extension as soon as possible, or you want to make sure that you get it in tomorrow because it's going to be compound interest unless you don't owe anything. So we're going to get it cranking. And I got a great lineup, a great show today. We're talking to some of the stars of the upcoming event that's happening at Boston City Winery, or as they like to call it, City Winery Boston. And I have multiple guests that are coming on today to talk to you about the show, get to know them a little bit better, and we're just going to have a good time. So, looking forward to it. Can't wait for it to happen, and we're gonna see what's up. We're gonna try to do what we do. Uh, Matter of fact, we got one of our guests here, Amanda Shea, the poet extravaganza. Uh, did you get in okay? I know this is a new link. I don't know if you ever use this.
I've never used this before, but I also see that Queen Sheba is in here, Brandy Blaze is in here, D Ruff is in here. So I ain't the only one up in here, but hey, y'all, hey.
Well, you know what? You are the only one that's logged in right now. I got them up. I got them set up on the screen so they can just jump in when they're ready to jump in,
Oh, okay.
and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
I've never used this before, so it's my first time.
I like it because has different nuances that you can do more so than any of the other apps. So we're trying to see what's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be dope. I think we're gonna have a good time tonight, just like we're gonna have on Wednesday,
It's
the 17th.
it's literally like 2 days away. I literally put on a hat because I'm about to go get a retwist. So don't actually, I'm gonna just take it off because I'm about to go get a retwist. Y'all will see me great and ready on Wednesday night. Y'all can see what I look like right now because this is real.
I'm about to get a retwist too. I think I'm gonna get me a retwist. I'm gonna get this twisted.
I
Uh,
love it.
you know what
I,
I'm saying?
I love it. You like it? I love it. Get a deep massage too.
We're gonna definitely make it happen. So Amanda, we know each other. We've been on stage, shared stages together. But I've never had a chance to really sit down and have a conversation with you about your art. So I'm really excited to do that tonight. H- How
Um,
long how long you been doing poetry? How long you been in the poetry game?
all my life, I had to fight. No, I've been doing. I've been a creative ever since I could create.
I
I've been
like that. I like
writing.
that.
I've been doing music. I've been doing a lot of different things since I was a kid. That was always like my thing. But I think poetry really came from me like on some like Dear Diary type, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
where
right,
I was basically just writing in my diary every single day.
right. Uh-huh.
And then I don't know what happened to my screen, but I was writing almost every single day. And it ended up transforming into poetry, to be honest. And then in 2006, when I moved to Roxbury, um, and went to school here, I met a collective of beautiful, talented people that were called Club Hope at the time, and now is Hope Inc. And we started doing like open mics outside of school, and it just kind of like came to fruition from there. I was hosting my open mics with Dudley Cafe and Hope Inc. And then I realized, I just told this story on another interview, but I then realized I would pressure people to get up on the mic because they were really dope. And people knew that I wrote, but I never performed. And they'd be like, Amanda, one day, I forget who it was, but somebody had said to me, like, you're the biggest like hypocrite in the world because you be pushing people to get up on stage, but you never get up on stage. And I'm like, what you mean? I'm on stage every night. And they were like, no, 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 no. Spit your shit. And once, ooh, can I swear?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay. They was like, spit your shit, sis. And I was like, no. And then I finally did. And the kind of like the rest is history, but it's been 7 years, full-time artist. That's all I do. I do poetry, I teach, I host, I curate. Like that's all I do is art all day, every day. And I would not have it any other way.
so where was when you said you moved to Roxbury? Where were you moving from?
So that's the thing. Like, anybody have a parent in the army or the Navy or the military? Like, that's what my life was like without having a parent that was in the army, the military, or the Navy. I just bounced around a lot, but I initially came from Rhode Island. We were there for like 4 years, but I've been raised in Hyannis, Cape Cod. So you could call me a Mass baby, but I was also born down south. So I tell people I'm a Southern belle at heart, but I got a Northern state of mind. So you can't play me.
Now you
Just
got to tell. You got. I'm from the South myself, so you got to tell me what part of the South.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, I'm from Durham, North Carolina. That's what I'm.
Hey,
Yeah, that's what's
Carolina's
up.
in the
Carolina's, that's
building.
what's up. That's what's up.
Period. We the
So,
best. I'm sorry, no shade to nobody else, but if you from down south, you ain't popping. Just
so
like
with the poetry? Was it an immediate love? Was it love at first sight when you started doing it? And I love the fact that you said a creative. So I'm under the assumption that not only were you doing like poetry, but you were also doing short stories and things of that nature too. Was that
oh my
involved in
God.
it too?
My childhood was so crazy and like so toxic and hostile that like for me writing was the ways in which I could use my imagination to escape my reality. So I
Right.
would rewrite stories of like me being in faraway places. I was very ambitious. I was very athletic. So I was a gymnast, I ran track. Like I was always, always, always like on the go. But for me, like I'm an extrovert, but I'm very much an introvert. So my introvert side is definitely my creative side. I blame it on my Cancer rising,
Hmm.
but we gonna talk about that later. But yeah, it's always been a thing for me. I think art has just been love for me. Music has been a love for me. That was how me and my dad, bonded when we did have the time together. It was through movies and through music. And like when I say I was born in the 1900s, that's when we had cassettes and we
Right.
had records. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like it took time to get through somebody's discography because you're literally breaking every single thing down. Like we would listen to Prince, Anita Baker, even what's his name? Not Bon Jovi, Billy Idol. Like I had so much like genres in the house going on at the same time. So I owe a lot of like my film and cinematography eye and a lot of my music like ability to my father. As far as writing, my grandmother wrote poetry. We didn't know this
Word.
until she passed. Yeah, like my grandmother wrote poetry, and one day we found a poem.
Hold on. We can take a oh, you get ready to get into it. I was going to like, how did you find out that she wrote
Oh,
poetry?
because we were going through her things, and my auntie ended up sending me a picture of a poem. And when I looked at it, it looked like my handwriting, like dead.
Wow.
And nothing, but like I didn't know my grandmother also liked to write in cursive handwriting. That's all I wrote in. So it looked
Wow.
like mine, but the paper, you could tell when it's like now and then. And I'm looking closer and I'm like, wait, this isn't my poem. And then I was like, you found this in grandma's stuff? And she was like, yeah, I found a lot of poetry. So I
So
feel
did
like it's in my spirit.
your grandmother know that you did poetry?
No, my grandmother passed away when I was 19.
Okay.
Didn't
Okay.
even know. Didn't even know.
Okay. And how old were you when you started doing poetry?
Since I
That
was
that
8, but I never told anybody. Like, who was I telling? I wasn't telling nobody. My mama didn't know that I was good until recently. It's like
really?
I swear, yo, my mama didn't want me to be an artist at all. When I told her I was quitting my job as an accountant, and my brother both of them was like, what? You got kids? What are you doing? My brother was like, you're going to be and end up homeless. He was right. I was. However, my mom now knows, she's like, wow, I didn't know you had all this in you. And I'm like, yeah, like listen, me and my mom and my parents have a long journey of healing. We had a long journey of healing. So now my mom is like, hey, yo, I support this. I see what you're doing. You're touching lives. Like, keep spreading your joy and your light. So now, but like, even when I was quitting my job, I used to make $85,000 a year to making $30,000 being a Lyft and Uber driver with
Wow.
Boston market rent. So,
Wow.
like, of course, they wasn't trying to like champion it. But also, like, how did you know I was good? Like, they didn't even know. Had no clue.
That's crazy. And I asked that question, you kind of answered it. It well, how did you why do you think it is that your grandmother and for the same thing you weren't letting people know that you were into poetry, much less a poet?
Scared? Are you kidding me? Like, to let people into your like most deepest, most intimate, vulnerable spaces. Are you kidding
Mhm.
me? I was afraid to even show my mom a poem that I wrote about her because it didn't paint her in a good light. But that's just how I felt. And I used poetry, and I still use poetry as an outlet for therapy. Like, when I'm doing these poems and performing these poems on stage, which I really don't like to call it performance, I like to call it an invitation because it's a choice for the audience and myself to be there, right? But it's an invitation. And it's like, at first, it was really scary because I'm like, what if I'm trash? What if people don't resonate with what I'm saying? Like, this is my stuff. This is my pain. This is my trauma. This is my joy. This is my life. Why would anybody want to hear about it? And why do I want to tell people about it? And that part was hard as hell to get through, but I had to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And for the first 2 years of like my career, I really feel like I was being fraudulent because I wasn't really being myself, if that makes sense. Like, I was taking on personas and things like that of other people that I felt like people wanted me to be, or things that I liked from other people. It
Right.
wasn't until like a year and a half, 2 years into it where I was like, hey, yo, stop feeling fraudulent while you're on stage. Why do you think you feel fraudulent? And it was because I was still being protective. I still wasn't giving my all, still wasn't giving my spirit. I was just up there performing and then literally getting off. Now it's like, still anxious, still shy, still scary. I still get the bubble guts. That's what I call them, the BGs. I still
Right.
be feeling that. But my mom taught me something a while ago. She said something where she was like, your anxiety and your social anxiety is also like your passion. So, like, don't allow that to trick you while you're on stage. Like, you get nervous and you care like that because you
Be
really
nice, Sandy.
are
Be
passionate.
nice.
Right. Right. And couple of things you touched on that I'm going to touch on real quick. And for those that don't know, right now we are you're on Good Conversation Live. I'm on here with Amanda Shea, Boston Poet Extravaganza. Uh, just one of the most superb Boston poets, superb poets that I know of, and that's around the country. And we're both going to be at Boston City Winery on Wednesday, April the 17th. At this Wednesday, shows time is at 7:30. So make sure you be in the building. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you, or mention to you, and for some reason, I don't know why this thing, give me one second. I need to play around with this, but I'm trying to get everybody in here.
Nah,
Um,
it's funny because Brandy just texted me and she was just like, our lives are so in sync. Like, I'm not gonna say what she said, but just know, like, we're so synced up right now. She just hopped on as I was talking about what I was just talking about. So bring my good sis on in here, because that's crazy, Brandy. We so aligned, bitch. We so aligned. We so aligned, girl. But yes, that's crazy.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, I can see y'all. Hey, Queen
I
Sheba.
got Queen Sheba in the building.
Good. I'm over here looking busty, and you just came over here with this bright pink lip. She's glasses. Face match to the gods, like beat down, like beat to the gods. Like, what are we talking about?
No, that was a beautification button on EV Mux, whatever this is. There was a button that said
Found
beautiful.
out? Have you been on here?
It's
Girl,
under settings.
bye.
It's under settings. It said beautification. I was like, beep.
Hey, yo, I need to find that button.
Go under settings, boo. It's right under settings. I was like, okay,
Okay.
beautification.
I like
Thank
this.
you. And this is from Harris Teeter and Target. You can get this $8 lipstick anyway.
Exactly. I
But
like
what's crazy is you need a chainsaw to get this shit off at night. Like you like it's the one that's supposed to stay on all day. It'll stay on for 4 days, is what it'll do.
Oh no, we don't want that.
Yeah,
You got to
right.
get a microfiber cloth.
Something. One of those lip scrubber thingamajiggies.
Yeah.
No, not even. It's just like a straight like microfiber cloth. If you go on Amazon, it's like you could just look up makeup removal cloths. I got like a huge pack of them. Because I'm on lipstick and mine's is a liquid matte, so it does the same thing. And yeah, you just go and you can literally wash everything off with just water. I don't
You got a
use.
new one that I can buy from you for Wednesday?
I got one for. I got a gift set for you, love.
Hello?
Well,
That's what's up.
well,
I'll
as you can
trade
see,
you a t-shirt.
Randy has her own makeup line.
What? Are you
Yeah,
we
bringing some makeup on Wednesday?
Yeah.
I am. I'm gonna bring some lipstick, yes, but I
Let
do
me
have a
tell
gift
you,
for you.
I have drawers on drawers on drawers of makeup. The same 5 shades, the same. I'm talking. If I see this pink, I'm getting it in Almay. I'm getting it in Mac. I'm getting it. I have drawers of makeup for no reason. For no
You
it's
have
reason.
drawers of makeup, but I have like shelves of makeup. And ask Brandy, do I wear makeup? Do I even know how to apply it? No. I got
Let me
makeup.
tell you
I
something.
really got makeup for no reason.
My
ladies.
eyebrows are microbladed. My lashes are obviously are extensions, and I put on lipstick and go every morning. And my hair is braided, and half my head is shaved. Wake up, and I find a lipstick, stick it in my purse, and I'm gone.
I need to
That's
get
it.
the extendos.
Ladies,
Those look
ladies
cute.
and gentlemen, as you can tell by being the only male in this conversation here, I've
What's your
gotten
lipstick
very,
shade,
I've
Corey?
gotten very quiet. Just can't.
It's giving a pink rouge.
You
Like
need a soft pink,
I have
Corey.
a nude
No,
color.
no, no,
It's
no,
gonna be
I just asked
beautiful.
no.
D where he went
Pause.
because he was in the chat
Pause.
and now he's not here. So I'm trying to get you another
No,
man.
he's here. I see D Ruff.
You
He
do?
turned it off. He said, "Oh, they're talking about Brandy's lipstick. I'm good."
Bring my dress for Wednesday is blue. Y'all, I'm a Amazon influencer. When I tell you I pick up $12 dresses every
Mhm.
week for a show because I can get the same dress in 15 colors.
Oh yeah, I keep Sheen in business by myself.
Hello?
By myself.
I told you I love that. I need that link. I need the link to that
I got
dress.
you. I
I
got
I
you.
bet.
and y'all, I am a thrifter.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Talk about
Oh
and
that.
yeah.
I'm a Zara girl, so
Oh yeah.
I don't do online because I don't like how it be looking once it gets here, and then I don't bring it back. I just
All
I
right.
think I even have like an $18 credit at Timu because
okay. Is that
I
a real site? Do you really
no, it
get
is.
stuff from
It
there?
is. It is.
Okay, because I ain't never
Yeah,
met nobody in real
I
life.
never tried Timu. I be
No,
on the
Timu's cool.
Sheen.
Timu's
yeah.
cool.
My wife
Timu's
be
cool.
tearing Timu up, but
For but
I'm gonna
wait,
Yeah.
tell you
first
though.
of
I'm
all,
gonna
that's
tell you who saved
like
my life. Who saved my life is Facebook Marketplace. Let me tell you something. If you
Oh
have
no,
not
that'll
used
ruin
everything
my
that
life.
Facebook
year.
That will
Marketplace,
ruin my life.
I got my apartment on Facebook Marketplace. I'm living in it right now.
Y'all see my puppy?
oh, that's
Oh,
not a.
he's so
Oh, there's a
cute.
puppy. Is that a full shepherd?
Yeah, she's two.
Oh, she's two. She's
Oh, she's
adorable.
precious.
Oh, she's so sweet. She's
I have
like
a lab and a shepherd too, like a mix.
worst guard dog ever. She loves everybody.
I had a German Shepherd, and then my German Shepherd made it with another dog, and then I had a German Poodle. No, no, a German Chow. That's what it was. It was a combination of a
Oh,
Chow. And
cows are mean.
yeah, yeah. My brother
Poodles are mean
almost
too.
shot that dog because he thought it was a fox in the backyard because that's what it looked like. I was like, man, put it up, put it up.
Mm-mm.
But listen, hold on. Before we go into the Temu, the marketplace, and everything, we're here to talk about Wednesday at Boston City Winery, the 7:30 show. We got a great lineup. Poetry versus hip hop. Queen Sheba in the building, the one that orchestrated the genius behind it, the Emmy nominated. You got like you.
Emmys. I got Emmys now.
Grammy. I'm sorry, Grammy. I did say
Emmys are for
Listen,
TV. I don't think I've ever even been
hey,
on TV.
you should be
it's
on TV. You
manifestation.
I
should be.
should
I'm
be
gonna
on
have
TV.
one.
So,
I need a
so
whole
I
podcast.
gotta ask a question.
From
Queen Sheba.
Corey's lips to God's ears. It's going to
That's
be
it.
Emmy next year.
That's it.
Let's go.
This poetry versus hip hop. Where did the concept come from? How did it come about?
It's a funny story, actually. And let me say this while I'm on this recording. Because
Ooh,
y'all know
I
I'm
know it.
pissed. Oh, I'm lit. I
I
am
know
up
what's
to here
coming.
boiling. Right. Let me say something. This is my business. The logo belongs to me. Whoever threw that basketball shot, and I'm not calling it. Whoever threw that basketball event and you used my logo and my the name of my company, you'll be hearing from my attorney.
That's that on that.
I was
I
trying to
hope you
figure out
didn't.
where
I
did that
hope it
take
was
place?
free. I hope it was a free event because if you made $1, so did I.
Where did it take place?
In Boston.
It was in Boston?
I don't
So
mm-mm. That I don't
I
think it
don't
was.
think it's here.
I'm
it was
pretty
in
sure
Philly.
that was in Philly.
It was in Philly because you know what? Steph Ox was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to this event tonight," and I didn't think nothing. She was like, "Oh, it's between poets and rappers, and people do it all the time." Let me tell you, since I'm gonna pop my collar a little bit, and I normally don't. Since 2015, we were the first verses. Think about when verses started. It was during the pandemic
Right.
when it
2020.
was. Yep, it was Monica versus Brandy, whoever versus whoever, and they called. I'll just say us. They called the poets, and they wanted the poets to go, and who they wanted me to go against. I was just like, nah. I will say this legally.
Yeah.
No. I thought she was gonna murder me. No, it was the other way around. I was
I,
like, yeah. I was like,
really?
nah, I'm good.
Really?
Only because she and I apologize. I do not mean to use this word because I'm all about peace and positivity. She's a millennial, like she's a TikToker poet, and I was like, nah. I was like, she gonna have some bars, and I'm gonna be like, oh, and I'm gonna just.
We gotta put a pin in that conversation because me and Brandy
Okay.
were just talking
I mean,
about.
I got a bar too, but I get it. I get the generational difference. You know what I mean? So I was cool. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to be embarrassed in front of millions of people. I was like, nah, son, I'm good. But let me say this: poetry versus hip hop is a
Uh-huh.
federally trademarked name, logo, and business. This is not, oh, I got a laptop and a what's the thing called, a business
Free
card from Vista Print.
Vista Print. Yeah, got you.
This is not that. I do everything from the mailroom to the CEO. I do it all. I have a small team, and I'm a Black woman, and I mean, that just sucks, y'all. I'm telling you, I needed a minute because I realized I was about to just say things that I couldn't untype. I have to be careful. So I just want whoever is watching this, and I haven't had to do this in a long time. My attorney's name is Kyle Paskey, and he is in Roswell, Georgia, and he protects poetry versus hip hop. It is a real thing, y'all. It's a real thing. It's a real business. We have had, it's a lot. It's a lot. We have employees, we have contractors, we have ambassadors. It's a real thing over the country. Our home venue is in Atlanta. I live between Atlanta and with my partner in Raleigh. And that hurt today. That really, and what hurt about it was the best thing on the flyer was my logo that you stole.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Queen Sheba has been orchestrating one of the strongest marketing pushes for an event, collaborative event that I've seen since I've been in the Boston area. And we have a chat that's going on with all the artists that are performing on Wednesday. That's April the 17th at City Winery in Boston, Poetry versus Hip Hop. We all are talking about what we're doing to push the show and get some advice. And Queen Sheba hits
And
us up.
everybody's been so great.
Yeah, and she's been hitting us up every morning with words of wisdom, words of encouragement,
No, that's
motivational
Amanda.
speeches.
That's not me.
That's
That's Amanda.
Amanda. Oh, it is
That's
Amanda
Amanda
hitting
with
her
the
every
That sounds
morning
like
with
morning
Amanda.
positivity.
yes, the morning
That's Amanda.
positivity. And so one of the things that came up this morning or today was there was an event that it took place this Saturday, I think, was poetry versus hip hop basketball game or something to that effect. And it was poetry versus hip hop, but they straight took the logo for poetry versus hip
Straight.
hop
That's
and
not
put it
it.
on their
And I
flyer.
think people think, that that's just general words. You know what I mean? It's not. That logo is trademarked with the colors. Like,
It, so I can speak to that also because if you look at from the comedy aspect of it, one of the most branded and utilized logos and is the Kings of Comedy.
mhm.
And they have that branded. So you can't, no one can go out and call themselves the Kings of Comedy. Like we couldn't even put together the Kings of Comedy, Boston Kings of Comedy, because that would go against the branding and the copyright that they have on that. So you'll see, if you see anything like it, you'll see Comedy Kings or something to that effect that doesn't use the actual wording. But what I appreciate about what you've done, Queen, is that you have legitimized the business, and I didn't know that till we just had this conversation, and that's a beautiful thing. So you have the brand together, you have the copyright together. And when did you start? When did you actually? So you got the inspiration during the pandemic, but when did you
No, no, no,
actually
no,
start?
no, 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 no. That's what I was saying is that we were the first verses. So it
Okay,
was poetry versus hip hop September 29th, 2015. And
wow.
verses on the social media and TV started in 2020 during the pandemic. The
Okay,
big verses that
okay, okay.
HBO did or whatever.
So
So
what did
I
you?
was getting to say that I cannot own the word versus. You can throw a show called Peanut Butter versus Jelly,
That's a
Cookies
beautiful.
versus
That's a
Ice
beautiful.
Cream.
I'm there for that. I'm
Right.
definitely for that.
Hello, I love it. That's a whole food group for real. Like people, that's a whole meal. Peanut butter versus jelly.
Yeah,
But I mean peanut butter and jelly. But I cannot own the word versus. But what I do own is poetry versus hip hop. Poetry
right.
versus hip hop live and poetry versus hip hop productions. I own all three of those segments. And so it just hurts when people and they rip the logo. It happened before in Las Vegas. Somebody ripped it. And what happens is they see that they were like, "Oh, this is a great idea." And the same thing, people will do rappers versus literary poets. And I'll just be like, whatever, dog. like what
Rappers
whatever,
versus Lil I like that. I like that.
and it's one of those things that God sent, and I'm not being funny. Get out of my face. That God sent when we came up with it, that it just went well together, and I was glad nobody else had it. That's just straight up how it was. So we started. So it has been legitimized on paper since September of 2015, and myself and my former partner started the company, and she unfortunately passed away due to breast cancer.
Oh, sorry to
So give thanks. I appreciate it. It's cool. So anyway, so I continued the company. I actually stopped and didn't know if I was going to. And then people were like, no, this shit is dope. Like, just do it. Everybody loves it. So pre-pandemic, we were in 20 plus cities, and we were invited to South Africa for Poetry Africa. So even like I have
Wow.
so much intellectual property behind this. It's insane that somebody would even like, what's the point? Like, just make up your own dope show.
Right.
But anyway, I'm a Leo and I get angry. So we've been all over the place. We've been New York, Philly, most major cities. We've been to LA twice for a couple festivals. We've been during the National Poetry Slam Festival, the LA Get Down Festival, lots of very super cool places, and we keep getting invited to places. So we started at a small cafe. Small, I say it was like 150 people. We immediately grew out of that. Maybe 2-3 shows later, we went to this music venue, but it was mostly standing room only. And poetry crowds ain't really for that. And so we were like, dang, where could we go? So we did a show at City Winery. They loved it, and they were like, you can come back, once a quarter. What's interesting about City Winery is They
when
do.
was real quick? When was this that you started with City Winery? When did you like?
City Winery was I just saw an old flyer too. City Winery was 2017.
Wow.
2017, 2018. So Atlanta City Winery, we've been there at least 3 times a year since 2017. And then we would still go to other pop-up venues like
Right.
around
Right.
pre-pandemic,
Right.
right?
Right.
So then when everybody took the year off in pandemic, and 21 was when my partner was really battling with cancer. And so we were like, and then COVID was still around. So people were like, eh. But then Atlanta City Winery, October 22 was like, all right, come back. Everybody's got to wear a mask, but we miss you. We miss your show. Da, da, da. So I was like, boom, let's go. Let's do it. And unfortunately, my partner had passed away already, but we came back with a vengeance. So it's Poetry versus Hip Hop, 2.0. And I have made relationships with amazing hip hop artists and MCs and poets over the last 23 years of my career. And I reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to be an ambassador for this show? It comes with a little bit of extra compensation for your help because I don't live in your city. And Amanda has been 10 toes down since the beginning. Like and then Najee's dad, like out of the blue, emailed me and was like, hey, I'd love to help. Here's a whole bunch of radio stations and PR that I happen to know, because he's I don't know if he's gonna forever be Najee's manager, but he's his manager right now. So he's been doing the PR for Najee. And
Right.
he gave me this whole list of places to contact. Amanda gave me this whole list of places to contact. And shout out to the PR team at City Winery, David and Adam. Now, the booking concert manager, forgive me if I'm getting the titles wrong, is Brendan Lee. And when I tell you that those three I'm talking about every day, they're like, how can I help? What can I do? How can I help? What can I do? Did David meet with you at CBS, Amanda?
He did, and he was so dope. And we were talking so much that Najee was like, you know him? And I was like, and he was like, nah, y'all was talking like y'all was friends. And I was like, well, I PR for Brandy Blaze.
Hello.
So we like to talk,
Yeah, and they're just I have not been to all of the city wineries yet. That's what we're doing this summer. And so they have been the bomb. I'm talking about every day David is texting me the link to something else that come out, even if it was just a post, like something that we didn't see. And those articles that the one that you had me submit to, that you did, Amanda, what was that one?
That was Austin Pudding, and that
Austin.
was Tanvi Shah, who wrote that amazing 3-page article with all of our voices. There was a lot of us in that interview for sure. It was 3 pages long, and
what was the other one? The something root the
Boston Banner,
the Boston Banner,
Bay State Banner.
Yeah, that one. And she was so amazing and dope. Like that was like an hour and a half interview, and she wrote a really dope article too. And it's just been a lot of positive support around this show because
that's 5 things to do this week in Boston.
Yeah, the 5 things to do this week.
Yeah.
And it's fun and it's lit. And I am not a comedian, Corey. I did go to comedy school at the Comedy Zone for 6 weeks when I was in grad school in 2012. And so I've learned along the way from comedians and how to like intertwine it in my show. I wanted to be a stand-up for a little while, but I say that, but I'm funny as fuck. Like on stage as a host, it's a lit show. This is not your poetry show at all. If anybody is on the fence about coming, first of all, it's National Poetry Month, so the poets are gonna be turned up, and then the MCs are like, "Nah, y'all ain't gonna win," so they gonna be turned up. It's just a lit show. It's just,
we're the original Dundutters, because like your favorite rappers were poets before they were rappers, but we ain't gonna talk about it.
Look at D-Ruff.
We ain't gonna talk about it. Lost poets.
Well, speaking of lit,
speak it right now, D.
I'm minding my business. I'm just sitting here minding my business.
Let me just say this. D. Let me just say this. I'm glad you're in here because to start off this show, this gathering, we had about a 10-minute conversation on curled eyelashes, lipsticks, eyebrows, and makeup. and I just sat here on pause. It thought my screen had froze. So D, what are you looking for? How did you get into this industry, this entertainment industry, and what are you looking forward to on Wednesday,
Uh,
other than Brandy's
Besides,
makeup kit?
besides losing.
oh, I'm not losing anything but my patience. So, um, but I kind of fell into this. Like spoken word is has been a calling for me. My uncle was an old jazz poet by the name of Robert Ruff. He was on PBS at one point, and I didn't get to see that until I was like 17. But for the most part, I really did just fall into it. I've been writing poetry since I was like 5, but you know, when you're writing it at 5, it's roses are red and violets are blue, and it was to impress girls. Like that's how it was. Because back in the day, you know, I was a cartoon kid, so I watched cartoons, and you know, on Looney Tunes, when you know the skunk was running around trying to impress his little cat lady, he was trying to bring flowers, bring candy, and might have a poem or two. Like so, I thought I'd be the poem guy because I was a kid, I didn't have no money. So that's how I started. When I got into middle school, I wrote what I thought was going to be my last poem because I was suicidal in middle school. And I wrote what I thought was going to be my last poem. This young lady read it, cried, told me, please don't let this be your last poem. And here I am. I continued to write, was in high school. And performed for the first time in high school, like on stage and stuff. And you know, everybody gave me a standing ovation. I was like, oh yeah, I can fucking do this all.
Let's not skip over this part because I can see the energy you gave with that. Set the stage. What was it? A talent show? Was it like
It
what
was
was
a
the
Friday,
occasion?
so it was a Friday assembly. It was
Okay.
a Friday assembly
Wow. So this is
high
like in front of the
school.
entire
Yeah,
school. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Morning, afternoon, like
it was morning.
oh, so everybody was there. Nobody had a
Everybody.
chance to skip yet. Nobody had a chance
Nah,
to
nope.
dip out from class. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Not at all. And it was funny because the English teacher at the time was was very excited to get me to go up on stage because he knew I wrote like kind of in the background. The school knew me as a rapper at the time because that's what I was mostly doing at the time.
Mhm.
So to kind of switch it up and do poetry was different for everybody. So that was really dope to kind of do that. And since then, um, I kept writing. Had my first child after I had my like. Obviously, there was time that happened in between all of that, right? From high school to having my first child. Um, but after my son's mother and I we broke up, I went to a mic to try to cry, and poetry was the best way for me to do it. After a few times of going to this mic, one of my co-hosts, one of my friends by the name of Jadi Williams found me and said, "Hey, I have a mic that I think you'd be interested in, but it's going to be a little different." And I was like, "What you mean?" She's like, "There's going to be women that like women there." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds fun. Like that sounds like a great time." So after that, I was doing that, and she asked me to co-host her mic after when she was about to leave to go to UPenn, I believe, for her master's in architecture. So
Wow.
I got to hold it down at the mic for a little bit. And then after, when she came back, we became a tag team for the If You Can Feel It, You Can Speak It open mic movement. And we held it down and have been holding it down for about 14 years now. Um, and yeah, I've been doing it in the process, I wrote a book. I've
Uh,
hosted other events and stuff. Yeah, that's there.
you see how you say you casually threw out there. Since then, I wrote a book. Just that's just doing a little something, something.
it's
So
it's always, trust me, my close friends, Amanda being included, always get frustrated when I leave the book part out. So I look down at Amanda always, and that's what it reminds me. Oh yeah, I did write that book in 2010, in 2012. I did write that book. I did have
You
that.
know what? That's
But
my bad.
he should
I keep forgetting you're on the poetry side. I keep thinking that you're on the hip hop side.
Hmm? Nah, yeah. So I've been doing spoken word poetry for over 20 years now myself. Um, so it's been an honor to kind of just be a part and kind of be a staple in the city. I got nominated in 2022 for, what's it, 2022? Yeah, I think it was 2022 for the first spoken word spoken word nomination, spoken word award in the city for the Boston Music Awards. So it was an honor to kind of be a part of that, especially given the fact that I didn't do anything that year and it was like really my off year. So to still be nominated, even in my off year, it kind of messed with my confidence a little bit because I was like, I didn't do anything to be nominated. But now, like, I've been
Let's
No,
outside.
your life's
let's
work.
correct. Let's
Yeah, your
correct that.
life's work got you nominated.
That's
You weren't nominated for what you didn't do
And
that
the
year.
and
You're
the
nominated
people
what
on
you
the
would
nomination
have
board
done.
nominated you, child. So
Yeah.
don't do that. And also re-release the book, even though it was 2012. Re-release the book because there's so many different people that could read the book now. It's new to them, old to us.
So for those that are joining us either on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube, we're on all different
Black
mediums right now with
Planet,
this Black Planet, uh,
MySpace.
MySpace,
MySpace.
adult, a Christian Mingle, Adult Friend
Oh my
Finder.
God.
Okay,
Oh my God.
maybe not, maybe not those.
Not
But
Christian Mingle,
the
child.
farmers
we
got people too. Don't forget the
No
farmers.
shades to my peoples, but not that.
but we're talking to some of the showcased artists that are going to be hitting the stage at City Winery Boston on this Wednesday, April the 17th. Show starts at 7:30, so make sure you get there for more information. You can actually go to you can go to my website, coreymanning.com/observe. There's the link there to take you right there. Because or just go to City Winery Boston where the link is there, but you have to click through a lot of stuff. But we have Queen Sheba, who is the spearhead of this whole thing, the mastermind behind this. Amanda Shea, who's one of the showcase artists on the event. D. Ruff, one of the on the poet side of things for the battle against hip hop versus poetry, and of course Brandy Blaze, who I just found out is not only an outstanding poet on the poetry side, but she's also multi hyphenated
Oh no, I'm
business
on the
owner
rap. I'm
with
on the
He's
rap
makeup.
on the hip hop
side.
You the rap?
side.
Oh, you
I'm
the hip
the
hop
rap
side?
He's on
girly.
the hip
I'm
hop
on the rap
side.
Oh,
side.
That's
okay,
why I
all
said
right.
earlier, I said my bad. That's why I was saying.
Sorry.
That's why I
you
said, I said,
on
my
the
bad,
show,
D-Ruff. I kept thinking
Are
that
I'm
he
on
was
you
on
the
the,
on the
my
no,
fault,
show?
my
Brandy
fault.
Blaze is on the hip
Blaze,
hop
my
side.
fault, my fault.
I
I
am.
understand. Blaze, I thought it was something
We
else
know
that
who
she was.
wasn't looking at the
I
promo flyers, child.
I
Just
thought it was
one
something
up.
else that she was blazing. That's why she
No,
called
everyone
it
always thinks
Blaze.
it's a weed reference, and it's really not.
A mic
So,
reference.
so this is great. So, from the hip hop side of things, we've heard from a plethora of poets on this call so far. How did you dip your feet into hip hop? What got you inspired to do into doing the hip hop?
Well, I've been performing since I was 3 years old.
Wow.
So this is pretty much like being on stage is what I've done like pretty much my entire life. I started out as a dancer, and I acted as a kid. I started writing poetry when I was in junior high. I used to like to write poetry, and like short stories were really like my thing too. Um, I also would, I would sing, and I was in beauty pageants. Like I literally like just did, my mom just let me, anything that I wanted to do or showed an interest in, my mom would make it happen for me. So I was very blessed in that. I wanted to really be a singer. That was really my dream, but I don't
Oh
have
my
the
God, me too.
vocals for that. So I would started rapping instead. And here we are. I am rap is like hip hop is just like everything to me. I was just raised on um really just like being able to listen to any type of music that I wanted to consume. My mom was very
Who's your
strict.
favorite hip hop artist?
My icon is Little Kim.
Nice.
Who's your
That's my
first? Who's
icon.
your? I was going to ask something similar to that. Who was your first hip hop artist though?
Oh yeah.
Technically, okay, this is kind of crazy. It's gonna make me sound older than I am, but I swear to God. So
It's not.
I had a record player, like one of those. Do you guys remember that in the 90s? You had the record player on top, and then you had like the radio, and then like the cassette. I had one of those. So I inherited all of like my youngest aunt's records and stuff. So
That's dope.
my first technical, like, okay, this is it for me. I used to play Dougie Fresh's The Show on the record player all the time in my room.
Yes.
So that was like really like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Like,
Did you
and
No
just?
pun
No, you did
intended.
not just say, "Oh
yes,
my God." No,
You guys said no pun intended. Oh my God.
My God. I can't.
so my mom,
she's told this story before. That's how it goes. She got to say, "Oh
yes,
my
but
God."
my mom was very strict, but the one thing she was never strict on, ironically, was music. I could listen to anything that I wanted to, no problems.
That's beautiful.
I was listening to like Lil Kim like in middle school, like on my little ice blue Walkman. I think it was like Kim's second album.
Dressed in all
So
black like the Omen. And you
yeah,
know
like
it.
oh yeah. So I've been like my mom took me to the No Way Out tour when I was like a kid. I was like
Wow. Whoa.
so like that's how my
No,
mom
no.
was like
Let's get this straight. Your mother did not take you to that concert.
she
She brought
absolutely
you with
did.
her. She brought you with her.
She
Sure
She
did.
was trying to
absolutely
go and
did.
she ain't have a babysitter.
She an air
No,
sign too,
she
so she
didn't.
was
She
definitely
didn't like
ain't
none
no
of
way
them.
you
She
missing
took
out
me.
on this.
She
Ain't
did
no
not.
way.
She was not listening to none of them. She took me because
Word.
I loved. I was, now it's like Diddy done messed up his whole legacy, but
Oh
I'm
my
a '90s
God.
kid, so the
So
Bad Boy
Brandy,
era was a big part of my life.
when was the first time that you performed, like when you first rapped, like not just for your like in the bathroom in front of the mirror, but like actually one of those moments when you got on stage in front of several people, you were like, oh shit, I'm good at this. This is
I
something I can do.
actually started rapping kind of late. I stopped performing once I danced into college, but then after that I kind of like fell out of it and I didn't perform. I went to college, I was working a
Where'd you
job.
go to college?
I went to Roxbury Community College,
Okay.
Gang gang.
and I went to Northeastern.
Okay.
Um, so I went to college and I was working and it just felt like my life just felt like this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. This doesn't feel right. And I just kind of happened to be in the right place in the right time and just was like able to really just jump into music. And I just decided just to do it. And I was just like, if we're gonna do it, girl, like let's do it. And then now it's been almost 11 years and I'm still doing it. So
So when was that first? What was that first stage?
the place isn't open anymore, but it was Max
Okay.
Blues in Brockton.
Okay, that's what's up. And what
Yeah, I
was
got
it?
shut down by the feds. And
What?
but the funniest part, so this wasn't my first show. This was actually my second show. And my second show was also at Max Blues. So I did my first show was like on my birthday. It's like on my 27th birthday.
When's your birthday?
August 29th, same as Michael Jackson. I'm a Virgo.
Virgo.
So my first show ever, I was able to book my second show from that show. And we go, and they're like, oh, they just wanted me and my homegirl to come, do some songs. It's gonna be, a good event. We got in there and it was a repass. And
Wow.
so we had to like
Flag on the
come
plate.
up with something really, really fast because we had like a lot of pussy popping music. I'm not gonna hold you. So it was so bad, and I was so early in my career. I did not have that much of a discography to be able to switch like that. So it was very difficult.
I mean, that's
like,
a way
what?
of grieving, Pussy popping is a way of grieving.
Well,
Yeah.
they didn't
Pussy
even tell
popping.
us. They didn't say like it's a repass or nothing. So we just got in there, and it was not like the black repass
That's
where
the name
everyone's
of a
lit and start
poem,
drinking.
Amanda.
They were still sad. So it was like,
Pussy.
oh, this is bad.
Hold up.
Pussy
Time out.
popping is a
Pussy
way
pop.
of grieving. Pussy popping is a way of grieving. That's the name of a poem. I want to be in that poem. Can we group poem that?
Pussy
Yes.
popping is a way of grieving.
grieving.
It is.
Pussy
I'm
popping.
telling you. I mean, I wouldn't know because I
As
don't be doing
twerking
that.
is to celebrating.
It sounds therapeutic though, for real.
Yeah,
It does
it
sound
does.
therapeutic.
No, I'm
Well,
really
they had
writing
a
this
good
down.
time. Not me, but they had a good time.
That's what I said. I was like, pussy popping is a way to grieve. Not me, but for y'all.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't have fun.
there's so many questions I have, especially around they had a good time with the pussy popping, but I don't want to go too much into that because there's too many different ways that they can come out.
Can I ask a
So
question?
sure,
Okay, so for Brandy and D Ruff, like 60 seconds or less. So I know neither one of you have seen the show in full. I've dropped some clips. But when you hear that it's a friendly battle, it. And so how do you prepare for it mentally? Are you like, oh, I'm gonna murder this other team? Or are you like, oh, I'm gonna do something fun? And there's no wrong answer. I, this is Poetry vs. Hip Hop is 9 years old. So I've seen a lot. And so I'm just wondering, like, what
Brandy,
do you,
let D answer that real quick first, okay?
yeah, how do you approach it knowing everything I've told y'all but haven't seen it?
I'm just coming to represent exactly who it is I'm supposed to represent. I'm supposed to represent poetry, so that's exactly who I came to represent. Everybody on the other side is a friend. Love Randy, love Milkshaw. You know what I'm saying? Don't really know King David, so King David's kind of the only person that I look at like, I don't know you, so you ain't really my friend. But like, but no, in all honesty, I just come really to represent it in the best way possible. Y'all wouldn't have asked me to be a part of the show if I wasn't that good. So for the most part, just come and bring me. And nobody can really fuck with me. Otherwise, y'all wouldn't have asked me to be here. So like, I'm here.
Period.
I appreciate the
Wait, is it getting a little spicy in
humility.
here? Is that a little spice?
I love
got a little
that. Yeah, we need a little spice.
And so
Maybe
for
I'm
everybody
lost
watching
If it
this,
don't get
He's
spicy.
about to bring the Scotch
for
bonnet.
everybody
That's
watching this, just so you know, there's no predetermined list. So really, the day of, they just kind of choose who's in charge, and that person says, okay, you and you and you and you, and that's how it goes. There's
I
no
mean, I
like
heard that
lineup.
mine was already decided. So I'm just going with the flow. I don't really care.
Who's she going up against, Amanda? I'm gonna let Amanda say that. Who's she going up against, Amanda?
Anita D.
Let me use the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
So Brandy, how like just knowing what I've been able to share, what Amanda's been able to share, and then yeah, I haven't seen it, but we've been like, it's positive, it's all peace
Yeah.
and love, but murder the other team. Like, so so how do you approach that?
But
I
wait,
feel
before
like
you
that's
answer
just
that real quick, I just want to say that I didn't choose nobody. That the person chose her. Anita chose Brandy. Just letting that be known. I didn't say anybody should go against anybody because they all my friends. I know all these people. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I didn't have a preference. So I'm just like, I think that anyone that knows me out here knows that you have to be brave as hell to go against me because it's not nothing nice. It's not nothing that you want with me.
Wow.
And I mean that in the most
Who's saying
humble
what you
way.
want?
That's my reputation out here. Like you guys talked about my name. My last name is not Blaze from weed smoking. It's from blazing these stages and blazing these bars and blazing these people out here. That's where it came from. I actually named myself after the black woman on American Gladiators. Her name was Blaze. So that's where my name comes from.
Facts.
I'm very sweet off stage, but when I come on, that is Brandy Blaze. I'm Brandy. Right now, this is Brandy. She's very sweet. Hi. Brandy Blaze is my creation that keeps me out of prison. Put it like that.
So let me ask you
I could testify. Witness.
So I'm a follow-up question to that, and this for any of you, because as a comedic artist, one of the struggles I found, and somebody touched on this earlier, is finding yourself on stage, who you're going to be on stage, and emulating other people when you first start till you get your own voice. Who are you more? Are you more who you are off stage, or is the person that you are on stage? Would you consider that to be more so you in an untamed and unfiltered way? But you can't you're not allowed to be that person in public, is what I'm saying.
For me, yes. If you've ever seen Brandy Blaze off stage, that part of me, it was not good. You did something very bad. So yeah, that's not like when I started doing this, ironically enough, even though I was pretty much raised like being on stage and like having that off stage, I was very, very like painfully shy for a very long time. And I think kind of Brandy Blaze was like that way that I could like speak and say the things that I didn't want to say. I also, how it goes. It's like you go through trauma and your trauma just comes out in very bad ways. So I also had a very, very bad temper for a very long time before I started Brandy Blaze. So I think just kind of being able to channel all of that into my music has really like saved my life. Because I don't think that I would still be here without having that outlet. But on that same note, like I kind of always looked at Brandy Blaze as like almost like a character, and I was like kind of like, okay, this is the woman that I want to be. And I think I'm finally at a point now where I could say that is me. Um, I'm able to express myself. I'm able to stand up for myself and stand up for other people. And so Brandy Blaze is definitely a part of me, but Brandy Blaze on stage and Brandy Blaze on records is probably 10 times me. Like that's just like the Super Saiyan, like,
Right.
you
I got
know,
you.
version of me. That's a little more exaggerated.
What about you, D-Ruff? What would you say?
So I guess I want to preface it a little bit differently. So yes and no. The reason why I say yes is because obviously, like, it is the person because I get to be unfiltered, unadulterated. Like, you can't hold me. It's no hold bars. Like, there's no boundaries. I'm doing this. This is me. But there's a no part because there's certain poems that I write that might be from the perspective of someone else,
Got
and
you.
those people aren't me. Like, there might be a part of it that I might understand or a part of it that I might find familiar, but that portion isn't me. If I'm deciding to write a poem from a racist perspective, I'm not racist, at least from my perspective. So therefore, I'll be like, well, that's not me. So those are the parts where I'm like, no. But for the most part, the person that you get on stage, most likely is the person you're gonna get off stage. Because everyone that does know me knows, like, D on stage, he's great. D off stage, just as great. He is, for some reason, just the same exact person. I'm still as energetic and as lively as I would be if I was on stage, and still as expressive with my emotions as if I was on stage too. So it wouldn't really matter.
What about you, Miss Shea? You muted. You muted.
Oh, I was like, I'm over here just trying to like take pictures and it for Instagram and stuff. Y'all probably saw the tags already, but yeah, it's me. Like, yeah, it's totally me. Like, it's all of me. And I think what's crazy is like, I don't know, like I feel like I got like three different personalities in one body anyways. I'm an Aquarius sun, a Cancer rising, and an Aries moon. So that's a lot of energy at a lot of times and a lot of shape shifting of emotions in the same space. So I
Mhm.
feel like at any point in time it may perceive to be a different person just because you may not be that close to me to see my personality like that. But real people who know me know, like, when you see me on stage, that's all of me. What I do on there is exactly how I'm talking to you right now is gonna how I'm gonna be talking to the people on the stage. Like, I be asking people why they leaving in the middle before my set begins and shit. Like, that's not a facade. That's
I
really
saw
me.
that. I saw that clip.
Like, where are you going? Like,
I
oh my,
did that in Canada. I did that just a couple weeks ago. I was like,
where are you
where are you
going?
going?
I got 5 minutes of space. You gonna give me 5 minutes of your time. Please sit down and enjoy because I got a lot of energy to give and I just want to give it to you. So I'm very much who I am on and off of stage. It depending on what kind of mood I am is what kind of intensity you gonna see. But it's
What?
me, like Erica Badu said, I could be spiritual, but you could catch these hands, okay? Not to be mistaken with popping pussy is a
Spiritual
real,
gangster.
okay?
It
Not
can
to be
go.
confused with that.
It can go from namaste to nigga what you say real quick.
That needs to be a T-shirt, D-Ruff. You need to make that T-shirt.
Period.
What I love, because I've hosted poetry nights and I've hosted hip hop nights as a comedian, especially since I've been in the Boston area. And one of the things that I found is there's a lot of commonalities between not only hip hop and poetry, but it's also, as far as comedy is concerned, it's just in how you deliver it. Because you could deliver.
I think comedy and poetry are closer because they're more apt to be storytelling between comedy and poetry. I'm not saying hip hop. Oh, time to run. I'm not saying that hip hop artists and aren't storytellers, but what I've found is that the reason, if I'm just gonna put if a hip hop artist loses their round or the team loses, it's because they that culture isn't necessarily about emotional vulnerability, where the American mind especially wants to hear about trauma and drama and then how to overcome it, where hip hop mostly is about um trauma, drama, how I've overcome it, I'm dope, better than you, da da da, and I'm bragging, da da da. I'm not saying that's everybody. I'm not saying that's everybody. I'm just saying that more often than not, I don't think that the hip hop artists allow themselves to be emotionally vulnerable when that culture says, I'm, all types of bragging and delusions of grandeur.
And I hear what you're saying. I agree with that. But and I also think when you say that, I start thinking about all the hip hop artists who are very successful and who are idolized, and most of them have that element within their, at least not, maybe not throughout their whole album, but you hear a good part of the songs that are really hitting that people quote and live off of have those different elements in it. So I totally hear what you're saying with that when you do the different perspectives of it.
I mean, just look at who Brandy mentioned, a storyteller.
Right.
Biggie, a storyteller. A lot of Gen Z people love Tupac, and they weren't even alive when Tupac was alive.
Mhm.
Storyteller, So there's a lot of that.
I will say
I
that
tell the
Boston is
story.
like a little different though, ironically. Boston's rap scene is literally the other way around. So
Okay.
I had to fight to break through here and like fought hard because I was not basically they were like, you only do like pussy pop and music, which isn't true, but like the people like what they like, so like sorry, like if those are my biggest songs, those are my biggest songs. But that's not all I do. But I literally had to deal with so much backlash early in my career. I couldn't book shows in Boston. I'm from Boston. um it was because it's so ironically conservative here, even though it's very liberal. So like coming from the Boston scene, that's why I'm like, I think like Boston is the perfect city for this because it's literally the opposite. It's we it's very, very hard to like go in that direction. And like someone like me that does like to do big boss, you know, music,
You're gonna
and I
make
do
me
the
sick.
more vulnerable, but that is kind of what I'm known for. That's like my niche. So it was very, very hard for me to break through. And it was people that had like more of the emotional vulnerability more openly on display, that were succeeding really early on. And then when it came to me, people didn't get it. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what I was trying to do was very like different for here. And I think especially the fact that I'm a plus size woman doing it brings like a whole other connotation to it. So yeah, that's, I'm like, Boston is perfect for this because that's like our rappers out here are just built different. You see Najee, like that is like the gold standard of like what the hip hop artists out here that get the biggest looks are like. And then it was me trying to be like, no, let me in. Like,
Yeah, Boston is a fight, like for
yeah,
everybody. Boston is a fight, no matter
Yeah.
what kind of artistic medium you're in. It is a really hard city. Like they be saying, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I feel like New York has infrastructure, Boston does not. So I feel like if you are making it in Boston, that says a lot about your talent and your work ethic. If you're being seen here, because there's a lot of talented people in the city, but the lack of infrastructure, and then also the conservativeship, and then on top of it, it's like D can attest to this. It's like back before COVID, we had mad poetry scenes and mad open mics where rappers were getting on our mics because they couldn't get in the door nowhere else unless you were a mainstream rapper. Now it's kind of flipped in a sense where it's like there's mad opportunities to rap, and now there's not a lot of places for
right.
poetry. So it's really weird. It's like we can't have both at the same time kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like something gotta be, if it's dance, it's gonna be dance. If it's rap, it's gonna be rap. If it's poetry, it's gonna be poetry. It's really hard to get it all on the same line at the same time. So when people say New York or try to like compare it, it's like, nah, this is the real deal. You gotta be like independent artist for real and like navigate your way through the business, because if you don't and you're not traveling out of your own city and building your own audience, you might get lost here no matter how fucking talented you are.
Hey,
And that's a fact.
here's something with those conversations that we're having now. Here's a question I got. In comedy, there are mics, there are different types of mics in general, but the main difference in the mics, I would say, is between the urban rooms and the mainstream rooms, the white rooms and the black rooms.
Yep.
Does that same connotation exist in poetry and in hip hop?
Oh,
Man,
absolutely.
listen,
Oh, absolutely.
and
And rap.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
that was
100%.
going right where I was about to go, because I was about to sit here
100%.
and tell you, like, look, we're all being nice for the most part. Look, if there's too many niggas in a room, they don't want us there. Like, just to be honest, all right. So if there's too much hip hop in a room and it's not Macklemore hip hop, and then they're
Or
upset.
balanced out,
You know
like
what I'm saying?
the other shit.
You know, they're a little upset. If for spoken word, for poetry, if we're not coming out and it's not academia, if I'm not spitting sonnets, I'm looked at some type of way because of the fact that I ain't doing
Spitting sonnets.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna name a
You
poem
know,
that.
Hey
It's-
yo,
hold
hey
on.
yo, for a haiku,
That's
B.
the
Okay.
second
Haiku, my nigga. You gotta give these niggas
spitting
songs.
sonnet.
Spitting sound. You gotta explain it for those who might be
Oh,
listening who not know what you mean when you say splitting
sorry.
sonic.
So
Like myself.
if you have studied Shakespearean literature,
Okay.
sonnets are some of the
Sonnets.
literature that
Sonnets.
is yes.
Yes. Okay.
So
SONNET. Think of bonnet, but with an S.
Okay. I thought he said
When.
sonics. I was like, I thought, okay. All right.
Sonnet.
It's like spitting sonics. So how does that? Okay. But go
That's a
ahead.
fucking t-shirt. I be out here spitting sonnets.
so listen. So
But go
I
ahead.
don't.
that's usually the reason why, like, for me at least, that's what I've grown to understand in the city. It doesn't necessarily matter what medium you choose, what artistic medium you choose. Singers have to go through the same thing. I there's few places over here in Boston. Slade's is one of the main places that I know comedians go all the time. But if you ask any other place in Boston where the comedians go, I couldn't ask. I couldn't answer.
Oh, Laugh Boston. That's
There
the
you
only
go.
other. That's the only other place.
That's
Laugh
I hear what you're saying, but that's not the only other place. But go ahead. I know,
You just-
but but that for the layperson, for somebody who's not a comedian like myself, who knows the community, knows the culture, knows the in and outs. For the layperson, people they think black comedy, they automatically think Slaves, which is not Slaves anymore. In case you did not know that.
What?
Oh,
Yes,
I didn't
it's
even
at
know
the
they
Carver
did
Den.
comedy.
Oh.
Was that the Carver Den?
Carver Den, yeah, on Wednesday
I was
night.
just there.
Yeah.
Hey yo.
I'm finally old enough to get in.
Here's my thing, and I'm glad we're having this conversation because one of the things, I'm originally from North Carolina. I moved to Boston in like 2000.
Oh, why? Why'd you leave that warm weather?
It's too warm. First of all, it's too warm weather. It's too much warm. Okay,
Well,
but
global warming. It's pretty warm here now.
no, not like the
It's
South. Not like the South. Which y'all call a heat wave is spring for us.
Where are you from?
I'm from Durham, North Carolina, born and raised.
Oh, I'm sitting in Raleigh right now.
Okay, that's
Hey,
what's I'll be,
Oh, that's because you have that show. When's your show?
my show is this. I'm there with Adele Givens on Friday the 19th, 20th, and 21st. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll be there. But what's crazy though is that
you coming
when I
up just
moved,
for this?
huh?
And then
No,
go-
I live in Mac.
He lives
I'm
there
in Mac.
now. He's saying,
Oh,
Yeah. But
Keep
what's
up.
crazy is when I came up here, the first thing that I found was in the comedy scene is that there was the railroad tracks. You know what I'm saying? Like there was uptown, then there was downtown, and very few people came uptown, and very seldom would the people who were in uptown would be willing to go downtown to perform as comedians. And so I never would have thought that would be the same for hip hop artists. When I'm saying hip hop artists, I know the Midwest is what saved hip hop and what helped it to grow into what the mass that it is now. Then it reached out to the Asian communities, and that really thrust it into another atmosphere. Even though they say black won't sell on screen, but it will sell on CD or album internationally. But to hear you all say that it's perplexing to me, because I would think that for storytelling, but not so much for poetry and hip hop.
Well,
That
I
that would
mean,
be the case.
Yeah.
the stories, because again, if we continue with what Queen Sheba said earlier about how like we are all storytellers in our own form, then the
Mhm.
stories are different. Certain folks don't want to relive the trauma that they might have induced.
Right.
Sometimes they don't want to hear the
Not,
mistakes that they might have caused, or
not not even cause or induce, but they're benefiting from.
there you go. You know what I'm saying? So
They
that's
don't want
Yeah.
to hear
something
that.
that they're gonna hear regardless, even in the music. Even if the music is still like, "Ooh, we're doing what we can," the base of that music is the fact that we have to try whatever we can to get where we need to go. Cause the whole reason why, at least to me, whole reason why a lot of hip hop music was created was because we had a struggle. So now, like, if I'm bringing to you, hey, we're partying, we're going to the club, we're doing all this other stuff, and I know you ain't going to the club because you got probably ledgers, and you probably have legacy money somewhere that you ain't trying to spend, but you gonna still try to call me up to come and entertain you guys at like a sweet 16 or at somebody's what's that thing that the Jewish boys have,
Bar mitzvahs.
there we
Hormones.
go. You'll pay for the bar mitzvah for me to come out, but you won't necessarily try to listen to. And for the same thing, vice versa, we don't necessarily want to hear about what you got, what taxes that you guys got to pay off, what jokes you guys got. Like, we don't want to hear rich people jokes.
Mhm.
I think like for anyone, like if you're not from Boston and you really want like a good understanding of Boston, I feel like watching Murder in Boston is the perfect way to do that. Because like honestly, if you are
Really?
not from here and you really just want to understand the dynamic of Boston, watching that will really like get you all the way like where you need to be in the understanding of how Boston is, because it just makes so much sense. Like we were still they're still writing like articles about us fighting to get into venues like in 2019.
Mm.
Well,
2019 or 18, I think I got interviewed for why is Boston hostile to hip hop. Like it was a whole thing about how the venues would refuse to book us. Like because it became a thing of, oh well, it's rap, so now you need security, more security, and then the insurance won't cover it if it's a rap show, and it was all these things, and it was just like, yo, it gets to a point where money don't even matter anymore, because there are artists that live in Boston, based in Boston, that could sell out the same venue as a touring national artist, and they're here and could sell out that very same venue, which is the same amount of money, and they would turn us down because we're from here.
But
But
to
all the
add, wait.
national come,
The
and
other
it's like they
side,
open the doors. Come on
to
in.
play the other side, we got to play the other side because respectfully, in 2018, and that's what kicked it up. In 2018, a lot of us were collectively banging down doors, activating spaces, and also buying out venues. Anton and I bought out Sonia. Sonia was a brand new venue. They didn't have any programming or anything yet, and we bought it out and then sold tickets. And I feel like that also started helping change the culture of Boston, because I almost said niggas, but people I was talking like y'all was in my living room. But I forgot I might have kids watching. But people were like, yeah, nah, forget all that. Like we just gonna put our coin together, buy out the venue so we don't owe them nothing. And then we can sell our own tickets at our own
But
prices.
even that is a recent. They wouldn't even let you do that.
That's what,
That was
but
not a
what I'm
thing.
saying, that happened in 28, but that we threw the show in 2017. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It was a conversation up to that point, and then that's around the time that the first, because I was in the second is Boston hostile to hip hop article, in like 18. There was one before that, and I would say shout out
Yeah.
to my big cousin Mo Pope, because he's the real reason that, you know, he has been out here a very long time, and he's the reason that a lot of us got into venues and got into anything, because he like literally put his whole name and career on the line and risked being blackballed out here to get us in these venues. Like he was like the
And his
linchpin
group
for this
Still
for us.
Gold. They were fighting Still Gold. Him and Still Gold. They were all fighting.
So that's what I'm like, yeah,
I-
this is like a
it,
long thing with us. Like the segregation here is still a thing. You know, I'll go and do shows where I'm the only rapper or the only black person on that lineup. And
That's why
you know,
celebrating us, celebrating our colors, celebrating our genders is also important. My brain has a 60-minute shut off.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I want to say thank y'all, everybody who's watching. Thank y'all so much. Amanda Shea has been an amazing ambassador. Corey Manning has helped. Najee's dad has helped. Thank you to the City Winery. Y'all can keep chatting, but I actually am traveling all week. I'm traveling to Atlanta tomorrow. I'm going from Atlanta to Boston, Boston to Atlanta. It's just, and thank God for being booked and busy. I appreciate it.
I know
My
that's
name is
right.
Queen Sheba. You can find me on all social medias. My TikTok is new to me, so don't judge me by my TikTok, but come follow Poetry vs. Hip Hop and Queen Sheba on IG, Facebook, TikTok, and I'm verified on Spotify. So I can't wait to see all of y'all that are watching. There are less than 100 tickets left, and if your city is like our city, I know that all of them gonna be purchased as people walk up the door. We
Child,
only
that's
bring
awesome.
and we only bring 20 t-shirts to every show because it's too much to carry. We don't know how many we're going to buy. I mean, how many are we going to sell? But for the first 20 people that purchase a t-shirt, if you wear that t-shirt and come back to the July 10th show, yes, City Winery has already given us July 10th, which is another Wednesday. And you wear that t-shirt to the July 10th show, then we cash app you $10 for walking in the door. So you purchase your ticket for whatever it was, $25, $30. You got on a t-shirt, you come in, and we like, here's your $10. Appreciate you for, purchasing the ticket, and you get $10 off your ticket, basically. So we're gonna have a great time. I'm so sorry to Team Hip Hop that's gonna lose. And thank you so much, Corey, for doing this. I appreciate
No
you
worries.
and your Facebook family. Amanda, I cannot thank you enough. I'm going to thank you a million more times. D-Ruff, Team Poetry. Pew, 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 pew. And I'm out of here. I got to travel. I got to go to bed and legitimize my license before I get pulled over by a state trooper. So I
Oh,
appreciate y'all.
bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
Queen.
See you
Bye,
soon.
Queen.
Wednesday, 2 more days.
48 hours, y'all. Let's go.
Let's do it. All
Nice.
right. Thank you everyone so much for joining in on the call. I can't wait to see everybody. Not only see you, but watch you perform. Quick side note: have you all applied for the Artists of Boston? A former artist. Yeah, there's a thing
Like a
called
artist certificate
yes, and they
from the
give you
city of
different
Boston.
City of Boston. Yeah, that would give you different perks as
Oh
far as
yeah, nah, I'm
Oh
not
no.
I got priced out of Boston. I'm a third generation Bostonian living in the suburbs. It's ridiculous. So
but
I can't be an artist anymore because I'm not a Boston resident anymore. Trash.
okay.
I'm out in the burbs. It's
But yeah,
quiet.
I don't. It also may be if you put. I would look into it because also how often you perform in Boston is a part of that too.
They be low key dragging me. So the other good thing, plug for the Mass Cultural Council. There's usually one in every town. So, and you
Right,
don't have to live in that town. You just have to
right.
throw a show in their town. So shout out to the Somerville Arts Council because they paid for me to throw a show in Somerville. And I'm actually in Newton. So I'll be applying to the Newton Arts Grant. They can give me a couple dollars. I'm the only black person in my neighborhood.
So you'll definitely hit the criteria.
All right, you guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. This is a great conversation. I learned so much, especially about makeup and eyelashes. I'm so happy about that.
Ah,
Uh,
thank you for
I'll get
having
you
us.
get you like a little lip balm. You know what
not
I'm
gonna happen.
saying?
Nah, I can't
Nah,
do
Moisturized
that.
moisturized
chapstick.
soft lips are for
I,
everybody.
I do the chapstick, but the lip balm, nah. No, we're not trying. My lip gloss don't be popping. It don't need to be. Okay.
Listen, I ain't saying that.
Just get the
Miss
flavored
Bennett,
chapstick, brother. Just get the flavored
That's
chapstick. You'll be
yes.
just fine. I promise.
That's all I need.
Corey
my
said, "I don't
name
even
is
want
Bennett.
flavor.
I
I
ain't
want
in
like
it.
that nasty flavor. What's the one in the tub? That tastes like that smells like vapor rub.
Sure. We ain't gonna do that one.
Brandy, bye.
Bye, Brandon. All right, y'all be good,
Corey,
man.
we
Yo,
appreciate you. Thank you so much. Everybody will
thank
see you
you.
Wednesday night, April 17th at City Winery. Gang, gang, we in the
Let's
building.
get it.
See you later.
Yeah.